Welcome to another deck profile. This time I'm going to be going over my work in progress Dino Wrestler deck. At the moment, there's not really much I want to change out of the deck except the extra deck. Maybe a card here or there as I come across, but alright, let's get into this. So, starting off with three, and sorry if I butcher these names, I suck with them. With three, Caprioraptor. I don't. It's a nice search, especially when you're going into first turn plays. But once this deck moves along, it's gonna become kind of dead. If you do find a way to keep them on the field, they come in really handy. But keeping it no protection whatsoever, it's just a creature in here. Next, Martial Anklo. It comes in handy when it's dealing with it's with opponent's monsters that have a higher attack. Also, yours can't be show up at battle. So that's another way to keeping him out on the field. So it's protecting, and it cuts your opponent's monster's attack in half. Next, I'm running two Martial and Paleo. It's a nice protection and gain if you are open. If you're down to rush the battles an opponent's monster with higher attack, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard for that battle. Your monster can't be destroyed, and that battle the damage you take is halved. So it's once again another way to protect your Dino Wrestlers. It'll come in really handy when you actually see the deck in motion, but starting it without anything going on, it's Next, I'm running two Rambichio. Your Dino Wrestler inflicts battle damage to your opponent. You can special summon it from your hand in defense position. You can only use this effect once per turn. Your opponent cannot target other Dino Wrestler monsters with card effects. So if you have both of them out, they can't target you whatsoever with card effects, your Dino Wrestlers. So it's very nice. It's also a level 5 to go into your one level 7 synchro play. That's in here just for the sake of putting in other use to him. Next we have our one, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Escrim. Sorry if I butcher these names. Escrimenci. If you control a Dino Wrestler, you can normal summon it without tributing. During your turn, if your opponent special summons the monster while this is in your grave, except during damage step, you can target one level 4 lower Dino Wrestler in your graveyard, special summon it. Add this card to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. That's very nice when it comes to searching and going into your synchro plays with Kesliak or Kozliak, because you can special summon it, and if you protect your monster with these two, then it'll pretty much boost Stegosaur or something like that. If it's special summoned, you can add one Dino Wrestler or the field spell to your hand. During the end phase, if this card's in the grave because it was sent there this turn, and your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you start one Dino Wrestler in your graveyard and special summon it. You can only use this effect once per turn. It comes in handy, but I don't want to keep searching. I don't want to keep special summoning because you want your opponent's monsters to have more monsters than you do. So I only run the one for the sake of that search. Valianix. Your opponent controls more monsters. You can special summon this card from your hand. While you control a Link 3 or higher Dino Wrestler monster, face-up monsters you control are unaffected by the activated effects of opponent's Link 3 and or lower monsters. So it comes in handy. Next we have our Gullisack. Pretty much if you control no monsters, you can special summon it. It's a level 2 tuner. That's pretty much it. And it can't be used as a link material except for Dino Wrestler that you special summon it. And we have our Pankratops. I want to run Pankratops at 3, but I can't. It got hit on the ban list, but no surprise there. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon it once per turn and contribute a Dino Wrestler. To destroy a card on the field. I don't even understand why that got hit. Probably Lynx because first turn place. Alright, that's it for the Dino Wrestler lineup. So let's move on to just the standard dinos. Triple Soul Eating Oviraptor. Your search card of the deck. Every Dino deck needs to run this. I don't care what you say, every Dino deck needs to run it. So when you play it, you're allowed to search to your hand or send to the grave. And that's when you would want to send something like our one that it's while it's in the grave, while your opponent special summons a monster. Another one is the Stego. But triple soul eating, the other effect doesn't really matter too much with this deck unless you're really planning on destroy another monster to special summon a dino from your grave. Next, triple beat raptor makes a good defense, especially when you have World Dino Wrestling on the field, because when it gets destroyed, you get to summon another one, but your opponent can only attack with one monster. Beyond that, it doesn't really matter. Negate Link monsters' abilities. Next, we have 2 Miscellaneousaurus. Good protection. Banish it from your grave to get your monsters out. 2 Baby Pterosaurus. When they get destroyed, you can special summon any level 4 or lower. It's the exception to 4 monsters in this deck. Mainly because Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Once again, I think at least each deck should run 1 Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. But that's my opinion. So, field setup is not that bad in this deck. It is actually pretty good. So, next, moving on to our spell cards. On Conductor, you can destroy Dino in your hand or field. Turn every other monster on your opponent, or every monster your opponent controls face down. You can attack each opponent's monster once, and when it attacks a defense position monster, it destroys it before damage calculation, and they take 1,000 damage. So, moving on to our spell cards, triple living fossil. You don't really care about getting that attack point out. You're more interested in summoning your Link or your Synchro. Doesn't change the levels, it just drops its attack by 1,000 and negates its effects. But it banishes when it leaves the field. So unfortunately, or when this card leaves the field, it banishes that monster. Next we have our 2 Fossil Dig. It's our other search card of the deck. I tend to see it bricking me at 3, but 1, I don't see it enough. So running 3 is pretty nice. Next we have our 2 Dino World Wrestling. I don't run 3 because I don't want to see it too often. But running it at 2, I see it perfectly fine. If I do need to search it, I have a way to search it. If your opponent controls more monsters, you can banish it from your grave to special summon a Dino Wrestler monster from your deck. And while you control a Dino Wrestler, each player can only attack with one monster. Next we have 2 Lost World. Lost World gives tokens, protect tokens by destroying Baby Ceratosaurus or Miscellaneous Saurus from your deck. And when that happens, you get to special summon a level 4 or lower. Next we're at 1 terraforming, pretty much deck thinning. It does not matter if you search Lost World or World Wrestling. World Wrestling is better though. Next we have our set rotation. By playing Lost World face down on their field, it pretty much gives you a free Dino Wrestling. World Dino Wrestling. Foolish Burial Goods to send World Dino Wrestling to the graveyard. That so you can trigger its effect. This is a good first or second turn. Well, not, you don't want to go first, but like on your first turn. And then we have Polymerization, just so we can summon our fusion monster. Don't really see it too much, but if you can pull it off, it is nice. Next, alright, we're moving on to the traps. Just a simple 3 survival of the fittest, nothing special there. Survival of the fittest gains 1000 attack and it gets a second attack. It's mainly used for your main 3 extra deck monsters. So, yeah. Moving on to the extra deck, and I realized just now that there was a couple of cards in here that I could have used. So, we're running 2. I just don't have a second. Dino Wrestler King T. Rexel. Running 2. Dino Wrestler Giga Spinative. And only the 1 fusion. Fusion's easy enough to bring back, that's not a problem. Soul Eating Oviraptor can always bring it back. Now, the cards I was thinking of that I do have, but I just now popped in my head, is 2, number 19, Freezodon, which when it is, when an Xyz monster activates its effect, you can detach from it instead. And then 2, number 61, Volcanosaurus, which you can detach material, destroy a monster on the field, and it inflicts damage to your opponent equal. Destroy an opponent's monster on the field that inflicts damage equal to the original attack of that monster. Next we have Evolvazar, Lagia, and Dolka. Lagia allows you to negate anything, but it's at a cost of losing both overlay units. That requires 2 level 4 dinos. Dolka requires 2 level 4 dinos still, but it only negates monster effects. And they both destroy. So that comes in handy if need be. Alright, so next we are running Black Rose Dragon, Topologic Zerabaros, and Topologic Trishabenia. They come in handy when trying to clear the field. I always have problems with spell and traps with this deck, which Trishabenia will clear, Zerabaros will clear monsters, and then bring itself back. And Black Rose Dragon will just nuke the field. Clear everything. But for the substitutes that I'm currently using, instead of those you saw, I am using 2 Drenosaurs. There's level 3s in here that aren't that hard to get out. And it comes, when you actually pull it off, it's pretty nice. Utopia. Well, I really have nothing to say towards Utopia. Utopia is Utopia. 2 numbers, 29 Mannequin Cat. and then one mannequin cat in here, not just for 2,000, and then I'm not even gonna attempt to say that, something food truck. Two level 1s, it's actually been happened before, so it's not that hard. Unaffected by other cards' effects. Once per turn, quick effect, you can detach 2 material from this card. The rest of this turn, this card can't be destroyed by battle, and you take no damage from attacks involving it. So, it's pretty much a one-time invincible protect. And there's really no way to get through it. But these two are gonna come out for the fusion, or the Link and the Synchro, and those are going to be the 19 and 61. Alright, that's pretty much it. Hope y'all have a good old day. And, oh, hey, look, they're right there. I found them. They happen to be right there on my desk. What a coincidence. Alright, well, I hope y'all have a good day, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, right before I end it, I always forget, if you have any questions or anything you want to ask me about my deck, you can go ahead and message me on Instagram at @TheDarkPegasus, underscore between each word, 1, TheDarkPegasus1, no underscore between Pegasus and 1, and, or Yu-Gi-Oh.team.casual. Alright, I will see you guys in the next video. Later.